Good to see you again. Thanks for the videos we took earlier this week. Very exciting. Talk to me about Bramasol, the kind of services you have and why customers are excited about them.
Well, Carsten, it's great to see you again. It's great to see you as part of the Insider team. We're excited to be here, as I said during our interviews here at Insider. Why do customers come to us? Well, a lot of customers are implementing new business models, and they need a partner who can help guide them through the process of really thinking about how do I implement the model, what are the processes, and how do I connect my front end to the back end?
Okay, and those new business models often relate to the subscription economy, right?
Yeah, they're as spot on. They're right tied to the subscription economy. We call it the digital solutions economy because it's not just subscriptions, right? We like to say that our friends from that other company with a Z are the subscription guys. We're about the new economy: subscriptions, consumption, usage, revenue sharing models.
Yeah.
So it's really a whole new world that our customers are really exploring how to increase their business models.
Cool. Now, on the subscription side, people think automatically BRIM, and is that correct in that sense?
Yeah, BRIM is one of the applications. Of course, BRIM is not just a thing. It's 5 different items all in one. So it's a portfolio of solutions designed to help with creating and managing subscriptions, invoicing, charging and ratings. There's also cloud solutions like subscription billing, entitlement management. So it's really a family of products, and BRIM is a great solution for companies who are really looking at how to build that business model.
Perfect. You mentioned consumption separate from all these others. How is consumption separate? And give me an example of a consumption.
Well, consumption model is a great one where you're talking about how do I use something. You can have different kinds of consumption models. We were talking to a chemical company. I could consume a number of chemicals. I make a contract for 100,000 units of whatever it is, and I consume them. I use them up and I pay for what I use based on a tiered pricing model. But consumption can also be companies like VMware or security companies that use consumption based on the amount of space you might use on a server. So it has a lot of different ways to manifest.
And at the end, it all has to come back. You said it in the back office, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Is that the revenue accounting as a kind of SAP
spot
product?
on? Yeah, it all has to. You and I talked about yesterday. It's about quote to cash.
Yeah.
It all somehow you got to collect it all, measure it all, and account for it all. And it's how Bramasol really helps customers think about how do you connect that back end to the front end?
And is that one of your core differentiators? Because you were really strong, still are very strong on the revenue accounting side. Now adding the business model, supporting these new business models to it, you can cover end to end as compared to maybe some competitors that Gemini can do subscription. What happens to the revenue accounting side? And I don't know that. So that's your kind of
absolutely. That's our strength. It's not just the revenue accounting, it's the treasury, it's the finance, it's the leasing, the AR, AP. Really, as you think of the model, it's an end-to-end ecosystem. It's not just quote. That's why it's quote to cash, right?
Cool. Now, I have a question for you because one of my theories is that finance needs to support new business models, and that support could be rudimentary in the sense of simulation analytics, what should I invest in or not, right? But it also has to be that finance cost itself needs to support these new business models. I spoke to an automotive manufacturer a while back, and they said, wouldn't it be great to allow customers to switch on all-wheel in the winter, month by month? Well, if you charge $50 and the processing invoice costs you $60, it's not going to work.
That's right.
So finance has to support all of these, and especially the back-end work you can do on the BRIM side. Maybe also with the way you set up these models are aimed to bring your automation back in and bring the cost low, so that some of these are actually achievable to begin with, right?
Absolutely. And our sales guys, I'm a sales guy, right? So I'll sell you anything, and what you're willing to pay for is great, right? But I sell you that cup of coffee. But what goes into the cost of all of that cup of coffee, and it was being hidden.
Yeah.
And by using revenue accounting and RevRec reimagined, you really get a sense of what are the true costs and what is the revenue associated with all those items as you roll them out.
And there's a lot of regulations associated with revenue accounting in that sense, right? So it's one of your core competencies to stay up to date on that one?
Yeah, so we stay up to date on all of the regulations, spot on. I mean, there are ASC 606, which is the US, IFRS 15, but we stay up to date. There are local gap restrictions, and of course SAP being a global company supports all of that, but you have to be aware of the different implications of each of them.
Cool. Talking IFRS, there's also lease accounting, right?
And there's lease accounting, totally different count.
But you also serve that market, right?
We do indeed, and we're finding both from a lessor and lessee case. If you think of new business models, Carsten, more and more companies are leasing out. We thought, when they did the new regulations, so let's take a step backwards. The new regulations, ASC 842, said you now have to take all these leases and put them on your balance sheet. And we thought that was going to kill the lease industry. And the reality is we've seen it begin to increase because customers want a way to only pay for what they use, or to have a way out of, hey, if it only works for 2 years and it doesn't work for me, I want to get out of it. And then other companies are saying, well, how do I augment my different models? So leasing has become big, both from a lessor or lessee perspective.
Cool.
We've done about 3-4 dozen different projects in that space with companies as small as energy companies who have 50 leases, all the way up to some of the world's biggest retailers with hundreds and thousands of leases.
Perfect. So back to BRIM, the whole subscription, the suite of capabilities sounds really cool. That was not there 5-10 years ago. So if a customer is on ECC today, are they like, oh my God, I need to go to S4 first? Or is there a path for them as well? Or when do companies actually think about these kind of capabilities?
Well, my answer to when do they think about is now, right? Think about it now. Do you need to do everything all at once? No, I don't think so. You certainly could. But you really want to think about a path forward, really get the sense of what do you want to accomplish over the next few years, create a roadmap to get there. ECC, we have customers who are implementing a standalone S4HANA cloud, public cloud system with subscription billing to give them a leg up to kind of move forward and test the subscription. All of that becomes migratable as you move forward into a bigger environment.
That's a real cool, smart way. And I'm saying this with a lot of credit towards it, because we built a central finance solution out, right? A smart way to get S4. Not many people know about that, but that seems like a real well-hidden jewel kind of thing.
It's a great use case. It's an awesome use case for companies who are experimenting or want to see what S4HANA is all about. Of course, you can use, and S4HANA Public Cloud is an awesome solution. You could still use private cloud, and that could become even more scalable depending on what direction you're going. And the beauty of that solution is, certainly from a private cloud, what you're doing from a RevRec and BRIM is totally scalable as you build up your business.
That's fantastic. All right, anything else you want to give the members along before we depart from Las Vegas?
I think that, this environment and the world that we're looking at and changing all of the different business models requires an end-to-end thinking. And the place to give a plug to you guys to come and get it is SAP Insider. I think there are so many experts and so many different kinds of companies here who can help companies solve their problems. You ought to check it out. Of course, check us out at Bramasol.com. We'd be remiss if we didn't.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karsten. It's a pleasure talking to you again.
Perfect. Awesome.